I'm not a complacent guy. If I'm not challenged, I'm bored. I couldn't let the Sparks family down because you trusted me with something that you started from nothing. We became the go-to contractor in our region. Our customer base was extremely strong. How do I grow this without damaging the reputation?
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to The Long Game. I've got today Mike Saglin. Mike Saglin is my ride or die. Hired him a very long time ago to manage my window production. He ended up working his way up at Infinity Exteriors from managing windows to siding to roofing, managing the whole thing, and later becoming the brand president, overseeing the expansion and growth of that brand from around $40 million to now close to $70 million. He's an incredible man, great family man, coach. We would not have been able to grow without him. So looking forward to this conversation, and hopefully you guys can learn a thing or two. So here we go, Mike Saglin. So Mike, we go way back, and man, back to the scrappy days of Infinity, and a lot of people know me now for where we are today at IHS, but I think this would be a good segue or a history lesson into what we built early on, and maybe talk through some of the handoff, what that looked like to run, what it looks like to run the company now under IHS and stuff. So man, maybe we just go back to when we met and what the company looked like. Let's talk about it a bit.
So I had a smaller company, obviously, before I joined Infinity, and I remember losing all of my possible roof jobs to Infinity, but I knew nothing about them. And old friend comes and works for Infinity, and he's selling windows. And I think you found out at that point that installing windows is a little more, and measuring windows is a little more difficult than you thought. And so he gives me a call and asks if I'm willing to install windows at Infinity, and now I get to see who keeps beating me in the house. And oh man, was it a mess.
Oh, well, I think you're very kind. I mean, it's so funny now because in our business, it's, a lot of these roofing companies like, well, we're a roofing contractor, but we also do siding, we also do windows. And I used to tell people, it's pretty easy to get into. And I think I forgot, or maybe it's one of those pains that's in your mind that you kind of set aside. You compartmentalize it because it was so damn awful. Like, we were terrible at siding, terrible at windows until I brought you on. We would sell them, and I think we probably installed half the windows for Habitat for Humanity just on mismeasures alone. So it was our warehouse served the purpose not of facilitating current production, but just storing mismeasured windows and siding products. It was so damn awful. And you're right, because that guy who brought you in started selling windows, and we met. And how long did you install windows for us before you came and put on an Infinity shirt?
About a year and a half. It was quite a while. Yeah, the first couple jobs, we came in, and like the plan in place for we sold these windows this way, we're gonna install them this way, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, just do it this way. And so I burned through the warehouse pretty quickly. I had two guys with me. We all knew what we were doing. There were about 70 windows in there that I asked the coordinator at the time, well, when are these going to get scheduled? And that was the mismeasured bin. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, those were the Habitat windows, but that was the thing.
You
Then
could blame Sam Ward for about half of those too.
Yeah.
Great sales guy, terrible window measure.
But it grew, and it grew fast, and it was, I mean, I don't give myself a lot of credit for a lot of things, but I did a lot of coaching with the team then. Like, this, if you sell it like this. And you guys were so good at selling anyway. So it just, I don't want to say exploded, but it did explode for a smaller window firm. But yeah, that was really it. And I was in a big transition of my life. had a younger daughter at the time. Worked all the time. That was I think that if had I looking back to that, it would have broke me at some point because I would sleep 4 hours a night. I mean, you know as well as I do. I mean, I think I brought a lot of things to Infinity, but Infinity opened my mind to a lot of things. Like I wasn't an accountant. I'm still not an accountant, but I didn't know anything then. I had a little LMS. I didn't know how to track customers. I didn't know how to market. I was really good with my hands and I was really good with the tools. Um, but it made a lot of sense when you brought it up that, hey, Infinity's got a great thing going on. I brought some value to the table at the time. I remember sitting at the table, like, just as far as we've come, sitting at a folding table at the other company and writing out the contract on paper. I signed a non-compete. I didn't know what I was doing, but it just made a lot of sense just to bring some simplicity to my life.
Yeah, you do not give yourself enough credit, Mike. The thing that I loved about you is we came in, you started installing the windows, and obviously we're a roofing focused business, but then we sneakily started becoming a pretty good sized window business. And it
Mhm.
happened, we could sell them, and you were just producing everything that we sold. And you were just like, keep giving more windows, keep giving more windows. And you were one of the executives on the team that was, dude, you never came and bothered me. You never asked me a lot of questions. You just got your shit done. Like you're a fantastic problem solver and you're a good people leader. And so that turned into running the window business. And then we had somebody running the siding division because the siding then started growing. We had so many customers that loved our roofing, their roofing experience with us and window experience with us, that siding was kind of a natural piece. And so we had somebody running that wasn't quite, what would you call it? Not the
You
best.
don't want my words.
Yeah.
Um,
So you kind of walked in my office one day and you're like, "Hey, you want me to take the siding division on this roofing thing I got, or the windows I've got squared away?" And I said, "By all means, my friend."
that was a little more difficult of an overhaul than the windows were. Um, it's such a dynamic product, and the touch and the feel of what a siding job is. A roof, I don't want to discount what a roof is, but you don't get you're not walking away from a siding job without a punch list. You're not there. You are going to have complaints during a siding job. But if you're face forward, I mean, walking into it, communication's great. Trust is there. You get to the end. But then yeah, once we figured it out, where this is our recipe to grow this siding division, and windows and siding go hand in hand. So if you sell windows, you should sell siding and vice versa, because of the flashing details, all that jazz. But um, man, it really did. I mean, we had such a big roofing base that once we had all the other components that we could offer, and I, trust is what it is. And if someone trusted you to do the roof prior me, why wouldn't they trust us to do their siding and their windows or their gutters or whatnot? But
Yeah, we kept doing a fantastic job. We kept driving a much bigger customer base, building that referring network of customers by doing great installs and offering competitive prices, and we just kept growing. We ended up moving from Waukesha to New Berlin, and then you got the corner office in that building to run basically, well, almost all production except for roofing. But at that point in time, man, siding and windows started to become a pretty big piece of our business. And so you started hiring some people underneath you, and then you eventually came to me and said, I want to run all production. I want to run the roofing. I want to run everything. And even though roofing wasn't your forte, like, what were you thinking there? You just wanted to continue to, work your way up.
I'm not a complacent guy. If I'm not challenged, I'm bored. And once I got a taste of my capability, I think I just was hungry for more. Like, what am I capable of? We have one life, and I'm an old carpenter. I coached football for a long time. Um, my business was successful, but it wasn't infinity successful. I don't know what would have happened, but people started believing in me. people were reliant of me. We had to have the work, or they can't feed their families. So I just, see how far I can go. Like, where does this life take me? I'm black and white, right? Like, there is no, eh, I- I'm very emotional. Um, I want people to trust me, and I don't waver from that. Once you lose trust, you've lost everything. And I live in that world.
I don't think you're emotional. I mean, you call balls and strikes. You're. I never had to worry about whether something we were doing, was negatively affecting your department because you would always tell me. I mean, there was never an issue with
Unless I wouldn't
communication.
tell you.
Well, you'd solve it. Yeah,
Yeah.
either that or you'd solve it, and that's great leadership. You're a fantastic problem solver. You bring the right people in. We change the structure. Back then, I mean, how would you characterize early Infinity? If I, how would you characterize us back in the day?
You had a stable of guys that wanted to win. That's really what it was. It's different now. We're bigger. We have more people that do jobs better than we did 15 years ago. You don't have our sales guys, our PMs starting their day at 6 in the morning, coming back to the office at 6, ordering pizza, doing POs till midnight, waking up and doing it again. Those have now grown into leaders in this company, and they uh, have earned that. Because it was we know it was rough. I mean, we really got after it when we had to get after it, but we all had that goal, um, which was never to be the biggest. It was, I mean, to a point, yes, you want to be the biggest, but we live, eh, we work for our customers, and there's a lot to be said about how much we really, really care about them. Um, and I think that's never wavered from when we were in office of 15 to when now we're in office of 95. Um, that's driven home. Um, and I hate to say it, but if you don't live in that world with us, then I wish you the best of luck, but you don't belong here.
Yeah. We always talked about bleeding blue, right? Those folks
Yeah.
who just cared so much about the company and what we were trying to do out there. It doesn't take much to understand. If you've been in our business for heck 30 days, you understand that there's just a whole series of contractors out there trying to take advantage of people. And when you have a mission like ours to rid the world of unscrupulous contractors, people are going to come to work for that. And they see it, especially the sales guys and project managers. They see it in the field. And so I agree. I think early on we were super scrappy. We worked our asses off. Like that's how you win early. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We just knew we had to do a good job for people, and they would refer us. So I mean, if that's what we got right, what do you think we got wrong early? Did we push our people too hard?
No, no, you had the right people. That's what it was. If the people that didn't believe in the mission didn't last. I mean, um, I think maybe we maybe we went too fast. Um, and I don't think it was necessarily our fault. We grew based on us doing a very good job for our customers, and that spread really, really fast. So I think we we tripped over our own feet here and there because we had be too many places. I mean, I shouldn't have had 8 jobs running one at one time. Looking back, that's way too much. I did everything I could to make sure that customer was taken care of, and they understood that they were extremely important to me. But I mean, looking back, I could have done a better job, with each individual person. But other than that, I don't. It's tough to say because I think the people that have been here since the beginning really miss those days, um, because of the camaraderie. We're all in this together, and we're gonna do something here, which we still have that mindset. But um, I don't know. You come into the office, and one of your best salesmen is sleeping on the floor of the office because he worked till 3 in the morning in his first appointment. He had his sales meeting at 7, so there was no point in going home. I'll just sleep right here. That doesn't happen anymore. But um, yeah, those are the
Or
days.
maybe you're just not in the office. Maybe it is happening. You don't know.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
your results would your results would say otherwise, man. We're killing it. But
yeah.
so I always get asked, we grew this business from 0 to this year. You guys did close to 70 million this year, and your goal is 100 million, and which is fucking crazy, right? That's from back when you and I were. I remember on West Avenue when we built that little showroom inside of our, right when you walk in that first vestibule, we had that little showroom there. And within, I don't know, what was it, 3 months of building the showroom, we put four desks in there because we were growing so fast.
I was in there. I was in the showroom.
Yeah, you were in there running production.
Yeah.
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 So
That-
I mean, go from back then to thinking about the infrastructure you have right now. So what, you have 7 locations, 6 locations? 7 locations, across Wisconsin. I mean, it's incredible. The leadership structure you guys have built there. If you think about where we were to where we are now, there's no magic button, right? We just continue to deliver a great customer experience, and they just kept coming back, and we had to solve it along the way. But systems, processes, anything that you think that were super impactful to the change of the business. Obviously, Zoho was helpful.
yeah. Zoho Home Builder, our selling software. We all do our best to sell alike. There's a process built in this tablet. It's all a la carte. We can walk through all of our homeowners through every individual thing that they want per service line. I think our pod system was huge. Grouping salesmen and project managers and a coordinator together in their own mini business where this person sells this person's going to produce this, instead of 30 different salesmen selling and 10 different project managers producing. You're coaching each other. Well, we should do it this way, or this is simpler for the install, or this is a super custom uh, style job. Let's talk about this in our next meeting. Um, that was probably the biggest thing we did.
That the unlock, yeah, the unlock of growth, I would say for sure. Zoho kept track. We always talk about understanding your numbers and collecting a lot of data. We always collected a lot of data. That was very important. We understood the flow of the customer from lead all the way through, warranty and service at the end. We understood all of our metrics in our business. We created dashboards to track those all. So we really had a deep understanding of what was being produced, how well it was being produced. So that was a big piece. To your point about the pod system, which we've pushed out now across most of our brands at IHS, it's pretty universally accepted. It really is back to the main philosophy I've always had as an owner of a business and as a leader, which is you've got to make sure that the decisions are made closest to the customer. And you have to empower those closest to the customer to be able to make decisions. Early on, we had office people scheduling jobs, scheduling different crews to go out, come back and forth. And that's okay when you're smaller. But as you get bigger, you really need to put that control of job site management into someone who has the authority to make decisions. And I agree. And I think you brought that to us, if I recall.
The evolution of it, yes. The idea came from one of our project managers. He read a book called Scrum and brought it to us, and he said, "Hey, you should probably read this book." And I was, as you know, I was never a reader. Couldn't even build a spreadsheet. But
I remember the first spreadsheet. The first spreadsheet you fucking sent back to me. I can't remember what it was for. It was some production capacity chart. And I opened up the spreadsheet and all the numbers are there. And I clicked on a cell and there was no calculations. You entered the numbers and did it on a calculator. I'm like, dude, do you know how to use a freaking Excel spreadsheet?
yeah, I had to ask
Like,
Tommy how do I even open it? So I didn't. Yeah, that goes back to swinging the hammer days. I didn't need a spreadsheet.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man, your leadership was strong back there. I think you just have a high EQ. You understand people. You understand what they need to perform at the highest level. But we started that book club at Infinity with the leadership team. And then I think the first book we read was Extreme Ownership. And you came into my office and you're like, it's fucking stupid. Who's this Jocko guy? He thinks he's cool. And then the next week you were two, 3 chapters in and your eyes were excited. You were so pumped. You made all your PMs
Yeah,
with that book, didn't you?
yeah. We had a PM book club. Met once a week, went through a chapter a week, just to make sure that they were reading it and really understanding how much this could affect their business. I mean, I bought into the book that Jocko so much now. He's my greens mix in the morning. I buy that stuff, and so okay, yeah. So yeah, that's how all in I am on on extreme ownership. It hands down the most impactful book that we've read.
Yeah. Yeah. Oftentimes when the business gets bigger, you start getting everybody does everything early on, and then you start kind of separating you have started more role clarity, but then you always get into this area where it's like, that's not my job because now my job is here. And if the business starts getting big and you get too many, that's not my job kind of people, those aren't the right people. And I think extreme ownership is a great job of opening up that you own everything. I mean, if you care about the business, you own the outcomes across the whole organization. And so I agree. And I think, well, part of it too is we align those incentives around the outcomes we wanted for project managers. It wasn't just, go do your job and we'll give you a salary or we'll give you a bonus. It was do the job well, make sure that, there's no safety violations, make sure that it's profitable, make sure that the customer gets a great experience. If you hit these metrics, you get a bonus. And so we started aligning in the incentives of our people to what we really wanted to see happen around the customer. Right. And I think that was that was huge.
And the evolution of those requirements are over the course of the last 3 years are even further along down the line. I mean, our new book is Unreasonable Hospitality. Um, and that, I mean, we have a company meeting on Friday that's going to be the new book that we read. Um, Leadership teams all read it, but some great things in that book. Not relatable to construction, but just the idea of what they're trying to do. And why couldn't we replicate that style of hospitality in our sector? It's very simple. Just care, right? That it's yeah. We're rolling that out. If you make a whole, I mean, it's the old adage. So like we've lived this since you were here. You can shake a hand at the end if you can make them smile. Like if if they trusted you from the beginning of the project to the end of the project, and you're going to get referrals. You are going to get good reviews. And that's the hospitality portion of it. And how far can we push it as an organization um, to make people feel happy that they've met a representative from Infinity? That's the goal.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great book. You're right that it's hospitality. It's about what 1812 Madison Street. It's some super famous 5-star Michelin restaurant, which is can't remember the name of it, but the end of the book when it really talks about all the differentiating things that they did to deliver a better customer experience is incredible and totally relatable. That piece relatable to just any customer interaction with a business. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's so funny. I've heard some CEOs of big businesses and people talk about, we haven't solved the referral issue yet, which means they can't get a lot of referrals in their business because they're sending cookies after they have charged 3 times the competition's price and had a high pressure sales guy come in and force them to buy a bunch of shit they didn't need. Like, of course you're not going to get referrals. Like, do a great job for people, actually care about the installation, and then you'll get referrals. I mean, that's how all small businesses started. Hell, until we were 20 million, maybe 25 million, 30 million in sales, more than 50% of our business was referrals. And still today, what is it,
Hmm.
40? I mean, it's still a
Yeah,
huge
just shy of
percentage of our
50.
business. Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Let's fast forward. So you took over the roofing side as well. You're running all production. And then I came to you and said, "Hey man, I'm thinking about, taking on some capital here and going out and making some partnerships, starting to buy some other roofing companies. And in doing so, I'm going to have to be the CEO of this platform business, and then you're going to have to take over Infinity." What did you think about when that conversation happened? Or what scared you the most or excited you?
I I I was proud. I was proud to take the position. Again, I striving for something, not sure what it really was, but where can I go in this company? There's no hiding anymore. Once I took that, hooray, hooray until, oh, now it's on. So now, um,
You didn't thi 2 years before that, Mike, you didn't think I would ever step away from that seat, did you? I remember we had some
no,
conversations about
no, that's the reason that it's still your seat. I still sit in it every day, because I never thought you'd leave it. Um,
it.
Very scary. And I didn't want to let anyone down. I've always been, and I remember you being so angry at me when you'd bring something to my attention and I'd say, Don't worry about it. I got it. Everything's going to be fine." I didn't have that guy. Um, and I had to be that guy. I had to be the person sitting in this chair, and I had to start trusting people, which, I mean, you know this too. That was a quite my early years here. Like I'm settling my life. Like I built my whole life into what I wanted it to be. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to control my own life. Am I going to be here forever? Well, at that point, I knew well, before then, but people are going to rely on me. I am here forever. And now what do you do? Um, put up or shut up. That's I everything that I've asked to manage to grow. Um, I think I did rather well. And now the the person that taught me the second most about this business, I hate to tell you this, but MJ probably taught me a little more. Um, because I worked with her day in and day out. I couldn't let the Sparks family down because you trusted me with something that you started from nothing. And we became the go-to contractor in our region. Our customer base was extremely strong. How do I grow this without damaging the reputation? How do I, all these questions are going through my mind. And it basically just boiled down to just tell the truth. Just be yourself. Because no one will outwork me. If there's one thing I know about myself, I will work until I'd fall asleep at the laptop. Or I was that way when I was out on the job sites too. And I made it a point to know something. If I'm not capable of doing every portion of the job at Infinity, I can stain wood. I just in the last storm we had, I went out and knocked doors because I've never done that before. I can schedule leads. I can open a service. I can do all the ins and outs of the business. Um, I think has done me wonders.
What do you think was harder than you thought it was gonna be?
Staying in touch with everyone that works at Infinity. Um, I used to, I was always really good about making my rounds, stopping, saying hello. It's still tough now where just getting out of the office, get your face out there. Everyone knows who I am. We have our conversations and whatnot, but, that was honestly the hardest part was just getting around and showing my face. The rest of it fell into place, but it did. There was so much. I, I'm sitting all day now. I'm sitting in front of a computer. I'm reading reports all day. What are we producing? Where can we building SOPs? Things of that nature. There's so much more that I, as a leader, need to do to just be in front of the people and let them really know that I can't tell them enough, and I need to be better at this. Where I appreciate everything that they do, and I can say it through WhatsApps, I can say it through email, but just the in-person appreciation for what people are willing to do to help us on our mission.
Yeah, what had to change immediately? Obviously, MJ and I founded the company, we started the company, we ran the company, built it alongside all of our fantastic staff. But then I leave to run IHS, which I'm not gone, but I'm still there. MJ now leaves because we, hire a CFO. Like, how was that transition? Was there a lot of, Josh wouldn't have done it this way, or did you get a lot of flack for that?
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as I envisioned it would be. I mean, in all honesty, the most difficult part was you're a lot more lenient than I am. Um, I mean, you gave guys loans. You made exceptions for things. And I had to change that, and I was never really a salesperson. I could sell, but I was never a salesperson. I'm an operations guy. I am a numbers guy. It should have been done this way. Why wasn't it done this way? Um, so that transition to no, that we're not doing it like that anymore because I can't make exceptions, because I'm not you. So I have one way, and we'll do this one way. And it did rub some of the old dogs a little rough.
Well, I bet it did. I think, there was a year that I remember we had an employee that came in. We hired him as a, like, project manager or a runner, and 2 days later, he walks in my office and he said, "Oh, I heard you give car loans." I said,
Mhm.
"Wait a second, we got a problem here." I think I had quite a bit of the company with IOUs, so we had to pull the trigger out, or we had to
It was
stop that.
amazing. It was amazing that,
The first bank of Josh and MJ
yeah,
Sparks.
yeah. I'd love to know how much you actually got back.
MJ won't tell me. I don't care. In the end, it was worth it. What would say, hey, Mike, if I came back in now, obviously CEO of IHS, I still understand the business, still involved in the numbers. I've now hired a CEO who's fantastic, and Jay, and now I'm the chairman, so I'm even one more step removed from you. What would surprise me if I come into your building right now, how you're doing things?
I think you'd be surprised at at our written process. Um, be,
Are you
being that
saying we
we're
didn't have written processes
employee
back
size,
then?
oh no, yeah, yeah, we did. I don't know how many people followed them. Um, but we have we have a true training outline. We have an SOP written for almost everything that we do. Um, our production processes are that would amaze you. I mean, and that's my baby, right? So the way that we start a job, the way that we end of the day calls, the way that we use Podium, the way that we complete jobs, our collections are never really that high anymore. Um, and but what wouldn't amaze you is the idea hasn't changed. Like still we're getting more reviews than we've ever gotten. And I mean it's almost like 2 or 3 5-star reviews a day. I think we got almost 1,400 last year. And those aren't sold on repairs; those are jobs. Um, yeah, the processes are written in stone. We follow them. Uh, but the old Infinity is still here because it the care is still there.
I still get messages from people in Milwaukee that'll text me that say, "Hey, I had you guys do my roof." And there's a lady here in Nashville who actually works at the club, and she's from Wisconsin, and we did her roof. And it makes me proud because I know I have no anxiety. And I don't know how, frankly, how other business owners who don't do really high quality work would feel, because I love referring friends and family to Infinity because we do a great damn job. And almost never do I have concern, or I get that feeling in your stomach that goes, shit, I hope we did a great job. Because, I mean, we've grown the business substantially. I mean, you guys have grown the business substantially since you took over, Mike. And our customer experience is the best it's ever been. And so that's a tribute to the fact that we've got a strong operations leader running the company, and not sell everything under the sun, and then hopefully we can produce it. And so I think that's a key. If if you think back to us, you and me, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, what would you tell our version, or that version of ourselves? Like, what? Keep going? Like, what?
Uh, yeah,
Get your
yeah. I
head out
mean,
of your ass?
buckle up. I mean, because you never know what things. So much has happened over the course of the last 15 years that I don't know what's going to happen next. Um, and I think that's the excitement of what we do every day, right? Every day is different. Days of, we have great days, we have rain days, we never say we have bad days though. We have rain days. Um, I, I would, if I could look into the future, I would be extremely proud of what we've done. Um, because not a lot of people get a chance to do what we're doing. I mean, we go back a long way, and I tell everybody here, and anyone that, I mean, my kids, whatever, this mythical Josh Sparks, like, who is this guy? This unicorn of the roofing business. Um, for us 15 years ago of looking forward to today, you've morphed into this person that I don't know how you became who you are. And don't take that the wrong way. I mean, take that 100% the right way. Um, because I do remember our conversations back then, and I remember you learning Spanish in the office. I remember um, just the little things here and there, and you always had this edge to you, like you're going to do something. I told you, you're going to be governor. Do you remember that? It had to be 10 years ago. Like it's something of the you, you were going to be something much bigger than what the industry is seeing, and we're seeing that into fruition right now. So, and I'm not where I am if I'm not following up on someone so driven. Because I think that pushed me a little harder than I expect that I could have pushed myself.
Man, I really appreciate that, Mike. That means a lot to me. Obviously, you know me really well. We've worked together for a very long time, and it is crazy. If I went back 10 years ago, I would never in a million years guess that we'd first of all been able to grow Infinity Exteriors to how big we've grown it, because it's, I mean, unreal. Second, to now be at IHS and being all across North America, taking customers out of harm's way. 40 some thousand, almost 50,000 customers last year out of harm's way is unreal. I can never imagine that. But a part of that is, I just continue to work every day, you and me both, as we continue to, to try to improve ourselves. We've got a family creed. And the first line of my family creed is, I will undertake this day and every day with a sense of duty to be better than I was yesterday. And I think if you just carry that every day, I have a reading list, and I went back over the last 5 years and hundreds and hundreds of books that I've read. And it's interesting because, like, if I went to every single one of those books, I don't exactly remember everything in them, but it's like, man, each one of those built on your character, built on your decision making ability, built on your EQ. I know when you met me, I was probably a terrible fucking leader. Command and control. I had all the answers. I listened to people, but only long enough so, I could rebut their, what they were saying and give them my idea, which of course in my head was always better. And so, when I had great production people like you come in and just really start running the company, and I got to see some of that stuff. It's been incredible, man. It's been an incredible ride, and it's not over. That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
It's not over. Like, when you think about 10 years from now, Mike, like, if you think 10 years ago, where are you in 10 years from now? I mean, what's Infinity doing? I mean, what are
I
we doing?
it's a great question. I mean, I've had goals, right? I want 100 million, 10 locations. Like and that seems simple now. We got to work to get there. But we're at 7 and 70, so it could happen a little sooner than I thought. Um, I don't know. I think roofing contractor of the year was huge for us. Um, I didn't think, I mean, 10 years ago, did you ever think that, well, in 1997, did you think Infinity would ever be the roofing contractor of the year? It's
Yeah,
huge.
the best of success. I did that keynote talk in the beginning about stoicism and how to basically how to build a framework to not only run a great business, but to build a good life and to be a better leader. And how cool was it that you're right, that you took over Infinity Exteriors 3 years ago, and now this year at Roofing Contractor Magazine, the 2025 Residential Roofing Contractor of the Year, and there's something like 50,000 companies. So that is unbelievable that you guys did that. But it's been a hard work and effort of, like we talked about, man. But it is cool. I mean, it is cool. What could you be winning in 10 years from now?
Just still be winning. That's the hope. Just whatever our idea of winning is, if I'm still coming to work every day and enjoying it, that's winning. I mean, in my mind, and how much bigger can we get? Not so much the revenue part. Like it's an office of 95 people, and are we 195 people then? And what does that look like? And how many more people get to go for this ride at Infinity with us? Um, and that no leaves, man. That's the probably the best part is once you're here, you can't work anywhere else. I don't. After a year, you don't even know how. It,
Hey, do you keep finding those rock stars? We keep getting those leads. I tell you what, the TAM is 500, 500 billion. So, total addressable market, exterior remodeling is probably 500 billion. So I think you've got some room to grow there, man. Like we can,
Yeah,
we can keep,
the meat on
we
the
can,
bone.
we got a little bit of meat on the bone. We can keep doing it. I appreciate you, man. It's been great having you on. Um, thanks for all the kind words. Thanks for taking over the business and stewarding it. I mean, you're doing an incredible job. You've grown the business. You've grown the customer experience. You've built on everything that MJ and I wanted to, or I guess devoted our lives to building. You built on that with the team there, with all the people at Infinity, and kudos to you guys for winning Roofing Contractor of the Year. You guys did that on your own, and looking forward to the future, brother.
Oh, thank you for everything. Like I always say, not here if I'm not given the chance, and I'm so excited to see what we can do because I don't know the answer.